Well, in any historic property, the key for longevity and endurance is adaptive reuse. That means to adapt it to a new environment, to a new use, reuse it as something other than what it was originally intended to be. The VanLandingham Estate was built as a single-family home. Obviously, it hasn't been that in many, many years and will never be that again. Today, it's a commercial enterprise, but it's a commercial enterprise that has not been economically successful. And that just doesn't mean for me, through numerous owners, have not been able to figure out how to make the property economically viable and to give it an economic relevance. So this is a preservation project in that sense. It's a taking another shot at trying to figure out how to reinvent the VanLandingham Estate, adapt and reuse the estate largely as it's being used today, but with a little less land surrounding it and with some additional sources of revenue. Perhaps most importantly, it gives us the opportunity to create revenue from that land sale, make the property debt-free, which will give me the opportunity to own the property and hopefully make a living here for the rest of my life. And I think the community likes the idea of a neighbor owning and operating this property, because at least at that point you know that we're all drinking from the same well. Well, with any historic property, its enemy is deterioration. Its enemy is irrelevance. And so if the VanLandingham Estate can't make money, at a minimum, one of a couple things is going to happen. It continues to become irrelevant. We can't afford to maintain it and upkeep it, and that's when historic properties begin to become extremely vulnerable. In my case, I would never do that. I would probably have to make a decision to do something different long before we got to the deterioration point. And you know, I can't continue to operate it at a loss, and so the most likely scenario is I would have to look for another owner. I would have to look to sell it. And in the marketplace, I can't imagine that there's a buyer in this marketplace that would be interested in buying it as a going concern. The most likely scenario is that a buyer would, or buyers would be appropriate suitors for this site, and they would be looking to do something very different with it, perhaps even develop it. And that's the scenario that neither myself nor the community are interested in seeing happen.